Welcome Thomas Brodox, Vice President in Siemens, Germany. We are now in Stockholm. We have mayors around us, a lot of political sector leaders, and they're coming from all over the world, from Europe, from US, from Asia. And of course it's dominated by the political sector's perspective. But we also have a touch of business innovation. And Siemens has been active and show leadership in this issue. What do you, as a business, offer the political sector?
Well, I think from the business side, we can offer a big scope of infrastructure solutions for cities. But I think the most important thing which is to be settled between cities and the industry is the dialogue. We need to get in a close dialogue. Only very few opportunities where cities and industry work together at an early stage.
Do you have any sustainability criteria when you talk about the green city model?
Yeah, definitely the overall life cycle of products and of general solutions. So not only on the phase when you buy or sell from our point of view, but also how to operate systems in an optimum way and how to save costs also during the overall lifetime of the solution. In different aspects, definitely. As for example, in Singapore, we have developed together with the city of Singapore city cockpit. This allows the city to monitor all the energy consumptions and distribution and cost structure, and therefore this is the best basis to take action. There are other concrete examples like mass transit transportation in certain areas in cities in Europe and in the United States. We have renewable wind energy here in Northern Europe, in the Öresund, and there are 48 wind turbines working and producing renewable energy for Copenhagen, Malmö and the area.
Going home from this conference, you have a lot of new business perspective on the work to come.
I think so. We have had very essential and substantial discussions also with various mayors and people from the administration. So there was a high interest.
We can find a solution that you transfer technology and solutions to the developing countries.
Definitely.
We will see also green city development in the developing world too, from Siemens.
Definitely. I think that this is the good opportunity of these countries, and some of them really take the opportunity to avoid maybe mistakes or learn from that what in the developing countries has been done already, and therefore make better cities and better life there.
Thank you, Thomas, for this interview.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, Sharon Nunes from US, Vice President in IBM. And you have now been in a dialogue with the mayors from different parts of the world. And IBM, in this discussion about green cities, what is the business perspective from that?
Yes. Well, IBM, I think we look at the whole notion of sustainability in cities in a very simple way. I mean, the objective of a lot of these cities is to transform and to become more sustainable. From an IBM perspective, we look at this very simply. If you want to transform, then you'd better be able to manage and measure how you're transforming and how your progress is. You need to understand your baseline, where you are today, and how you're going to get to your ultimate objectives. And from an information technology perspective, we're very much involved in helping cities to transform from a consulting perspective, as well as providing the IT systems to help them measure and monitor their progress.
So from the perspective of the conference here, what have you learned?
Oh, this has been a tremendous forum for really bringing together people who don't ordinarily talk with each other. And we've heard this in some of the discussions the last couple of days. So we have business people here. We have people from 3 major geographies. We have civil servant public sector, and we have politicians from public sector. And I think that's a very interesting mix. There's even a few non-government organizations here. So these are people who really need to be collaborating in the future, because we need every one of these organizations if we're going to really transform into a sustainable future.
So, do you think mayors will play a more important role for to take leadership in this development?
Mayors have to play a leadership role. I think one of the things that we've heard, one of the things that we talk about in IBM is how cities are really growing in the future. 2/3 of the world's population will be living in cities, and something surprising to me is in Europe already 80% of people or more live in cities. So Europe is really taking a leadership role here, understanding the challenges of cities and how they as individual cities and collective cities collaborating and sharing information, such as at this conference, can drive that change. So it really is a leadership role for mayors to say, I'm going to make a difference in my community, I'm going to work with mayors around the world, and I'm going to make this happen.
So you think that maybe the mayors will play a much more important key role than the national governments in the global relationship?
Well, I think the mayors have a little bit more control over their own individual cities, and as we're seeing in the US, mayors are taking the lead, not waiting for the national government to come to some consensus. I think certainly we've seen that here in Europe, where the cities are really playing a very active role in leading the transformation.
Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome.